a very pleasant good afternoon from Mangelsdorf Field, home of the Cougars, for this afternoon's home opener of the 2019 Misericordia football season. My name is Paul Garrity. Thanks for joining us here on this Saturday. Game time temperature will be in the mid to high 60s today as the Cougars try to go for an encore of that record-breaking season in more ways than one a season ago, finishing 8-3, 7-1 in the MAC. One of the biggest stories in Division III football across the country, the turnaround story, Cinderella story, under head coach Mark Ross. Unfortunately, in week one for the Cougars, the encore did not get off to a great start, losing by 10, 24-14 to the Green Terror from McDaniel University out of Westminster, Maryland, on the road next week. Or on the road last week, I should say. Misericordia moved the football very well in that game, but they struggled inside the red zone, just 1 for 4 inside the 20-yard line, while McDaniel was able to score every time they got inside the red zone. So that was pretty much the difference last week. Misericordia got off to a good start in that one. A touchdown strike from Brady Williams to Sam Gillison got the scoring started early, but 24 unanswered points by the Green Terror was too much for Misericordia to overcome despite a late rally.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand. And gentlemen,
so we're going to take a timeout here for the national anthem. We'll have opening kickoff just moments away here between Misericordia and the Keystone College Giants. Easy day today here in the back mountain as Misericordia takes on Keystone. And Keystone College, just about 45 minutes or so north of here. Nice drive up I-81 in northeastern Pennsylvania. The Giants, under head coach Justin Higgins, this will be their first game against a varsity college opponent since 1948. Program went on an extended hiatus, to say the least. And this will be, they did take on Wilkes University's JV team last week, came up short by a final score of 23-19 in that one, a game that was nip and tuck the whole way down on the campus of Wilkes University. So Keystone has yet to play a home game, but obviously they will get their home schedule started later on this year. Misericordia in the white jerseys here on their home field, Keystone in the road grays with the orange numerals. Keystone next season in 2020 plans to play in the Eastern Collegiate Football Conference, joining a handful of other teams, including Castleton University, who Misericordia played and beat last year. Kickoff is away, fielded by Michael Golick, who had a good game last week for the Cougars, the 5'6", 160-pounder out of Owings-Wills, Maryland, and he's got speed down the near sideline. Touchdown saving tackle by Justin Bosempem, the freshman out of Bergenfield, New Jersey. But Golick gets the Cougars off to a good start here this afternoon. They'll start in Keystone territory. Let's meet the starting offense for the Cougars. Of course, Brady Williams, the record-setting quarterback, MAC Offensive Player of the Year a season ago at quarterback. He's joined in the backfield by David Cromwell, the junior, 5'7", 185 pounds. Rushed for 72 yards last week in that loss. The receivers, Sam Gillison, along with Isaiah Williams. And they go with a 3-receiver set. Mike Schlosser is the third receiver as that play gets all the way down close to the 20. Isaiah Williams on the reception.
And they're moving the chains for a Cougar.
The rest of the offense for Misericordia, the starting quarterback, or the starting tight end, I should say, is Aaron Barry, converted to tight end this season after starting a couple games under center last year for Misericordia. First down 10 Cougars. Williams finds Gillison. Soft coverage over on the near sideline. And Gillison's got about 14 more, down close to the 10. Starting offensive line for the Cougars, Sam Marcel is the left tackle. On the left side of the offensive line, as well as the left guard, Tyler Colono. The center is Mark Welsh. Right guard is Michael Anderson, the freshman. And the right tackle is Dalton McCran. Gillison, the motion man. Cromwell gets the call, spinning his way inside the 5. He'll get 6. He's second down and goal from just inside the 5 coming up. Starting defense for Keystone, the defensive line, Charles McMillan, number 57, the defensive end, along with Kenneth Livingston. Also on the defensive line is, I'll check that, Brandon Lawyer is a linebacker, along with Jorge Urizar, Montez Gaskin, and Sean Tochi. The 4 defensive backs, Brandon Smith, Brandon Davis, Michael Jimenez, and Dorian Davenport. And here's a touchdown. Way too easy if you're a Keystone fan. David Cromwell goes in from 5 yards out. That rushing touchdown is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Visit your 2 Dallas locations of Dunkin' Donuts. And the Cougars take an early 6-0 lead. Matt Dinnicenti on to attempt the extra point. It is blocked. Live football. Keystone can return it for 2. But they'll be wrapped up there. So no good on the extra point for Dinnicenti. 6-0 Misericordia. Just 1:54 into this afternoon's contest.
Point after attempt blocked by Brandon Lawyer of the Giants.
Well, Dinnicenti missed a 43-yard field goal in last week's game, just at the edge of his range. They decided on a 4th and long play to try it. Didn't work that time. I think there might have been 2 players who could have blocked that extra point. So Mark Ross chatting with his special teams unit on the Cougar sideline. And we'll see the Keystone offense for the first time. Keystone will play 2 quarterbacks here this afternoon. 2 signal callers just about split the snaps last week in that loss to the Wilkes JV unit. Starting quarterback today will be Jonathan Bates, a freshman. And when I say he's a freshman, just like most of the Keystone team, they've only 2 seniors on their entire roster, as again, this is their first season as a football squad in almost 70 years. Kickoff is away. It'll be returned by Marcus Sessoms, a wide receiver. And he doesn't get very far, just to about the 21-yard line. Good coverage by the special teams unit of the Cougars. Zach Gardner, the freshman. Check that. That was Mitchell France, the senior, 6'1", 195 out of York, PA, on the tackle. And here comes the Giants offense for the first time. Starting running back is Jeremiah Allen. He ran 5 times for 27 yards last week. Starting receivers, Javier Taza, Angel Rodriguez, and Zeke Wassel. The tight end is Matt Bruno. This is Allen trying to get outside. Gets a nice block from one of his receivers. That was Zeke Wassel with the good block on the outside. And Allen gains 13 on the Giants' first play.
First down at the 35-yard line.
Starting offensive line for Keystone, Josh Leander, the left tackle. Left guard is Garrett Boyle. The center, John Nanowitz. Joe Reyes is the right guard. And also on the right side of the line, the right tackle, Anthony Burke. This is Allen again. Chopped down after a gain of 4.
Allen on the carry.
Out to the 38, 39-yard line.
Hafner, second down.
Alex Hafner on the stop. Hafner picked up his first sack last week, first career sack, and the only sack of the game that the Cougars were able to generate. Second down, 6 for Bates and the Giants. Allen, third consecutive call, and this time he's wrapped up and wrestled to the ground by Mike Becky, the senior. 6 foot, 225-pound linebacker for the Cougars. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Third down, 8. Giants going without a huddle here on the first series. Flea flicker, and they're going to go long down the near far sideline. Lots of contact, and here come the yellow hankies. Zach Orzel on the coverage that time. Got matched up one-on-one with that trick play, and pretty obvious call there. Reached out and dragged the receiver to the ground. Not sure if Zach needed to do that. I think he thought that he was beat there, but he actually probably could have knocked that pass down. So it's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. 6-0 Misericordia, 11:33 to play here in the opening quarter. Whistle this play dead, maybe an issue with where they spotted the ball. Let's give us an opportunity to meet the Misericordia defense. Starting defensive line is Michael Conway along with Matt Gillingham and Nikolai Keppel. Give you the rest of the defense here in a moment. Bates on 1st and 10. Gives to Allen. Pearson couldn't make the stop, but he held him up enough. John Pearson, the linebacker, who had a solid game last week in the loss to McDaniel.
Allen brought down by Mike Beck.
And
Second down.
eventually tackled by Mike Beck, a loss of 2 on the play. Mike Beck, along with Mason Geary in the linebacker unit today for Misericordia, along with John Pearson, the junior, and the other linebacker, Tavion Rogers, who had 6 tackles last week. On 2nd and 12, it's Allen crashing up the middle for a couple. Starting secondary for Misericordia today, Zach Orzel is the safety along with Alex Hafner.
Allen brought down by Nikolai Keppel.
Starting cornerbacks, Nick Yeager, the senior, along with Damian Diaz, the junior.
Third down.
3rd and 10 Giants. They trail 6-0. Low snap. Bates gathers, and what a hit there. Receiver paid the price. He lost his hat as Jeremiah Allen tried to secure that catch, and he was absolutely blasted by the Cougar linebacker. I believe that was Beck on that hit. And you talk about a perfect form tackle there, delivered with authority. And hopefully Allen is okay as they check on him. They got the wind knocked out of him there. Just got hit right in the breadbasket. Training staff for Keystone coming out to have a look. A couple other games on tap here at Mangelsdorf Field today. The Misericordia field hockey team will be in action. They'll take on Cortland at 5 p.m. And then the women's soccer team will take on Arcadia. That one immediately following the field hockey game. The scheduled start time for that one at 7:30. Misericordia cheerleading team, of course, on hand here this afternoon. They'll be selling T-shirts today as part of their Cougars for a Cure campaign in support of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And the cheerleading squad will also hold a 50-50 raffle at the Lebanon Valley game in support of that cause. So if you'd like a T-shirt, they're selling them, not just today, but all season here at Mangelsdorf Field at the football games.
Fans, if you're using the tailgate area today, please remember the tailgate area closes exactly 1 hour following the conclusion of the game.
So a nice hand for the young man from Keystone there, who still obviously took a real shot right in the breadbasket, the rib cage. Not sure if we're going to see him the rest of the game, but Jeremiah Allen, 5'8". He's a freshman out of Binghamton, New York. Getting his first collegiate start here today. Came off the bench last week in that game against the Wilkes JV squad.
Fans, today's game is sponsored by J&J Deli and Catering. Located less than a mile from campus, they're open until 9 p.m. today. Eat in or take out, stop by J&J after the game.
So we'll see the Keystone punt team for the first time today. Ethan Dunn, a local product, not too far from the Keystone campus. He's out of Honesdale, PA, Honesdale High School. Played quarterback for the Hornets of Honesdale, but here at Keystone, he's a punter. He'll kick from about his 37-yard line. Pressure comes from J.P. Sacco of the Cougars, but a great punt is going to be down at the 1-yard line. So benevolent bounce on that kick
By number 2, Ethan Dunn
from Ethan Dunn.
is down, marked down at the 1-yard line.
A punt of 50 yards with nothing on the return. The Cougars, who were backed up, had some terrible field position in much of the game last week. They rolled up some impressive yardage totals, including 312 yards in the passing department last week, but the field position was so bad that because of those red zone troubles, they could only muster the 14 points as Cromwell navigates out close to the 5-yard line.
Brought by David Cromwell. Stopped by Brandon Smith.
Cromwell, 16 rushes last week, 72 yards. He was their leading ground gainer a season ago, just over 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's second and about 6 for Brady Williams out of the shotgun and the Cougars. Cromwell, similar play, going off left tackle. And he's stopped after a gain of about 3.
Cromwell on the rush. Brought down by Davenport and Jimenez.
Michael Jimenez on the stop, number 22, 5'8", 175 out of Bergenfield, New Jersey. Another one of these Keystone freshmen. Nine minutes to play first quarter. Misericordia scored pretty easily on their first drive. This time Williams keeps, and he'll just barely have the first down with a lunge past the 10.
Brady Williams. And they're moving the chains for a Cougar.
First carry for Williams on the day. He can run it when he has to. MAC Offensive Player of the Year a season ago, pretty much broke every Misericordia record there was to break. He's back here for his senior season at 6'1", 200 pounds. First down 10. Slingshot near sideline for Gillison, incomplete.
Pass from Williams is incomplete.
Some soft coverage there from Dorian Davenport, the defensive back, 6'1", 165 pounds, out of Baltimore, Maryland. Fairly windy day here today. Wind, Misericordia moving into the wind here in the first quarter. Four receivers this time for the Cougars on 2nd and 10. Giants bring a three-man rush, and the pass for Isaiah Williams off his hands.
Pass incomplete.
Cougars had a little bit of success with that sort of play last week. And Isaiah Williams led the way, 9 catches against McDaniel for 97 yards. Isaiah, of course, a second-team All-MAC performer a year ago. Second on the team with 824 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. Third down 10 for the Cougars. Good pass protection. Finds Gillison, and he kept his feet in bounds, and Sam Gillison, his second catch of the day. It's good for a Misericordia first down, 13 yards. For the hookup from Williams to Gillison. It's definitely not the last time we'll say that this year. These Giant defensive backs giving lots of respect to the speedy Gillison. First down Cougars, leading 6-0. Williams has Barry all alone, but he rifles one right off the helmet of the Keystone linebacker. That was Jorge Urizar. Williams had Barry out in the flat, tried to deliver a deeper route to Williams. Isaiah Williams running that pass pattern. Flag down the play. It's holding against the Cougars. They get Bobby Burke, the junior wide receiver, for that holding call. Penalties accepted, so it'll be a first down and about 19. They'll call it 20. Keystone comes with a blitz. Misericordia runs up the middle, and it's Cromwell. Gains most of the penalty yardage back, got about 8 on the play. Jorge Urizar again on the tackle. It's been a heavy ground game for Misericordia so far. Cromwell's already carried it 5 times here in the first several minutes. 25 yards for David so far. Here's Williams on 2nd and long. This pass complete to Galil Garrison, sophomore receiver, 6'2", 185 pounds. And he tiptoes out of bounds. About 3 yards shy of the first down. Garrison's first catch of the season. Jalil, 6'2", 185 pound, out of Milton, PA. Williams, all kinds of daylight up the middle, and he knifes through this Keystone defense out past the 45. 12 yards on the pickup for the athletic senior quarterback. First down 10 Cougars from their own 46. And this one lobbed far sideline. Isaiah Williams with a beautiful dime dropped in there from Brady Williams. And Isaiah out of bounds at the 36. 18 more on that out pattern from Williams to Williams. Misericordia has already picked up 6 first downs here this afternoon. We still have 5 minutes plus to play in the first quarter. Here's Cromwell fighting through tackles, and he's inside the 25.
Rush by David Cromwell.
And this Misericordia offensive line opening up some holes that time. Sam Marcel, along with Michael Anderson, opening that crack of daylight for Cromwell. And David already 37 yards on 6 carries here this afternoon. First and 10 Cougars. Already leading 6-0 as flags come in. Looks like we're going to have offsides, I believe. Now they're going to call it a false start.
Offense number 64.
Against Misericordia. Sam Marcel, who I just called for a key block. It's called for the infraction. Marcel, the junior, 6'1", 280 pounds, out of Willingboro, New Jersey. We'll set up a first down and 15. Williams out of the gun. This give is to Michael Golick, and Golick gets outside. Wrestled out of bounds by Dorian Davenport.
Rush by Michael Golick.
But again, they get the penalty yardage back. It'll be second and about 9.
Forced out of bounds by Dorian Davenport of the Giants.
For Golick, the sophomore, 5'6", 160 pounds, out of Browns Mills, New Jersey. Golick had the big receiving game last week out of the backfield, a 55-yard reception. Late in that game, as Misericordia was trying to rally as the rain begins to fall. Williams on second down has it complete to Willie Wallace, the junior receiver out of Wilkes-Barre. Wallace tried to make a cut and lost his footing on this turf, which is also already getting
Third down and 5.
wet here this afternoon. Be a 3rd and 5. And boy, this rain, it started pretty quick, but it's coming down pretty steadily now. Kind of came out of nowhere. 3rd down 5 from just inside the 20-yard line. 4-man rush. Williams laser beam in and out of the hands of Carlos Artson, the sophomore receiver. Would have been good for 6, but maybe the wet football factor there too. As Artson couldn't bring it in, and we'll see what the Cougars want to do on 4th and 5. It'll be an awfully tough field goal in these conditions from here, and the Misericordia Cougars will go for it. 4th and 5 for Williams. Blitz comes, or pressure from the backside, scrambles away, lobs one, end zone, broken up, and Keystone holds.
Brady Williams pass. Incomplete. Intended for number 1, Sam Gillison.
Gillison went up after it, tried to high point the football, but a good defensive play back there by the Keystone defensive back. And Misericordia turned away. Keystone stays within a touchdown. Little zone read type of play that time off the jet sweep look. on first down. It's good for about 3 yards.
Rush by number 6, Marcus Sessoms.
They had Marcus Sessoms in the game at Wildcat that time. Actually, couldn't tell if that was number 6 or number 8. This was Sessom, number 6. So Keystone throwing a little wrinkle in there. Here's Bates, the starting QB, back in there on 2nd and 7. And that swing pass complete to Demir Green, the running back, 5'11", 190 pounds out of Philadelphia.
Pass complete to number 20, Demir Green.
Comes up just about 2 yards shy of the first down, and the Giants will hustle quickly without a huddle again.
Number 23, Hafner on the tackle.
They trail 6-0, 1:48 to play here in the first. Bates out of the gun on 3rd and 2. Long count, trying to draw the Cougars off sides. Play clock down to 4. Misericordia comes with the blitz, pass incomplete. Good coverage out there from Hafner on that out pattern, and the Giants go 3 and out with 1:18 to play here in the first. This rain, after coming down pretty heavy there for a few minutes, has now lightened up a little bit. Now just a steady drizzle. It'll be done again with some pressure. Pretty good kick again. And Isaiah Williams makes the fair catch at the 37. Cougars will get it back there again
37-yard line on the Ethan
with
Dunn.
this 6-0 lead.
1st and 10 Cougars.
It was a David Cromwell 4-yard rushing touchdown. Only scoring of the game so far. Three receiver look this time on 1st and 10. Receiver to the bottom of your screen is Garrison. And it's a draw play up the gut. Good for 4 yards out past the 40.
Eric Jeffries on the carry.
That was Eric Jeffries. Carried the ball a couple times last week. The youngster out of Nanticoke, PA, just about 20 minutes down the road here from campus.
2nd and 5.
First time we've seen him today. 2nd down, they call it 5. Jeffries again. Actually, that is Jeffries. And he'll be close to the first down yardage.
Jeffries again on
It'll
the
be
rush.
about a yard short.
Stopped by Vega and Lawyer. It brings up a 3rd and 1 for the Cougars.
Stop made by Brandon Lawyer for Keystone, the freshman linebacker, number 53. Cougars don't have to run another play here in the first quarter, and it looks like they will not. So we're through one here from Mangelsdorf Field on a rainy Saturday afternoon. It's Misericordia 6 and Keystone nothing. 6-0 Misericordia, start of the second quarter. I'm Paul Garrity. Glad to be with you here on this Saturday. 3rd down and 1 for the Cougars. And that's Jeffries slamming into a tight crevice there on the left side of the line. He'll gain about 3, and he'll easily pick up that first down yardage. Some first quarter statistics. Misericordia picked up 6 first downs in the opening period. They ran the ball 11 times for 70 yards. 6 completions for Brady Williams for 71 yards. For Keystone, just 2 first downs in the quarter. They ran 6 times for 20 yards, and they completed 1 pass for just 5 yards. So dominant performance in the stat column everywhere except the scoreboard for Misericordia. They lead by 6. Williams on the roll, finds Williams. Isaiah Williams inside the 40 for a 10-yard pickup. Tackle made by Brandon Smith. And the Cougars again moving the football well. They did the same thing last week, and once they got around the 15 or 20 yard line, they just seemed to get bogged down a little bit.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
And I didn't even see the flag come in, but the roughing the passer call tacked on. So add 15 to the end of that play. Now the Cougars getting closer to that red zone. Misericordia scored in just 4 plays to start the game, and they made it look easy. Since then, Keystone defense has buckled down a bit. Jeffries slicing through a hole on the right side this time, and he'll gain about 7 down to the 18-yard line.
Carry by Jeffries.
Eric Jeffries is a pretty good-sized running back. He's 5'11", 210 pounds, and he's, for the most part, a north-south runner. He's going to give you some tough yardage in between the tackles. 2nd down and 4. Misericordia. This is Jeffries again, this time cutback run, and he's in. Touchdown Misericordia from 18 yards, and it's the sophomore Eric Jeffries hitting pay dirt. And that rushing touchdown is once again brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. 18-yarder for Jeffries. And the Cougars can make it a 13-0 lead with this extra point. And Dinnicenti's got it this time. 13:20 to play before halftime. Cougars 13 and Keystone nothing. Well, Keystone's struggling here early in this game. It's not a surprise if you're a fan of Misericordia athletics or this football team specifically. You know the struggles that the Misericordia football team went through their first few years. All kinds of freshmen littering the roster for the first couple seasons. And Keystone has the same thing this year. And obviously head coach Justin Higgins is hoping that his Giants program can have the same type of success in future seasons as Misericordia showed last year with that amazing run through the MAC. Give you some background on Justin Higgins here after this kickoff. Fielded at the 10, and a little pirouette out past the 30, return of 22 yards on that kickoff return. Returned by Michael Jimenez, the defensive back. Justin Higgins is in his first season as a collegiate head coach. He does have 1 season of high school head coaching experience about 10 years ago at Richfield Springs High School in New York. He's been around the block at the collegiate level. He's began his coaching career at Ithaca College up in New York as a graduate assistant. Spent time at Keene University and Lehigh University at the Division I level, as Jonathan Bates gains nothing on that quarterback keeper.
Rush by number 7, Jonathan Bates.
Tackle made by Misericordia's Tavion Rogers, who led the team in tackles last week in the loss to McDaniel, the junior linebacker out of Philadelphia. Some more on Coach Higgins for Keystone. He was the defensive coordinator at Morrisville State College for 10 years, 3 different stints totaling up those 10 years. And last season he spent at the Division II level as the recruiting coordinator and special teams coach at Seton Hill University. And this play is going to go past the 45 to the 47. Pass complete to Matthew Bruno, the tight end, 6'1", 225 pounds, out of Lodi, New Jersey. It's the longest pass completion of the day so far for Bates. And just the 3rd first down for the Giants here in the first half. Bates going deep down the far side and just out of the outstretched lunge of Zechariah Wassell. 6'1", 181-pound freshman out of Tamaqua, PA. So it's going to be a difficult challenge for Justin Higgins. And as I said, fans of Misericordia know all about that. But this Cougar team last year and hopefully this year for Coach Mark Ross is proof that you can get some things done in a short period of time. And this Misericordia program obviously going in the right direction. This handoff goes for about 2 yards.
Demir Green is tackled by
Demir Green on the carry.
That brings up a 3rd down.
Jake Nagel made the stop that time for Misericordia. Jake also had a really solid effort last week in that loss. Tied for the team lead in tackles with the 7. Low snap, and on the blitz, Tavion Rogers is back there to blow that play up in the backfield, and Rogers will get credit for the sack.
By Tavion Rogers in the backfield. 4th down.
And that was made to order for Tavion that time. He was coming on the outside blitz, and Bates, after securing that low snap, ran right into him. So the Giants will punt. They trail 13-0. High kick. And I thought Williams might catch for the call for the fair catch. Didn't do it, and he'll gain a few yards out to the 36-yard line.
Turned by Isaiah Williams, but there's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play back near the punt. Might have a holding call here against the Cougars. 10:41 to play here in the second quarter. Couple rushing touchdowns for the Cougars today. One by David Cromwell on the Cougars' very first drive. And then just moments ago, Eric Jeffries went in from 18 yards out.
Penalties on the continue. Roughing the kicker, defense, holding, 83 during the return. That penalty's declined. The result of the penalty, automatic first down.
And as you may have heard on the stream, a roughing the kicker call. Against Misericordia, so Keystone will keep the ball. It's an automatic first down and that personal foul penalty. So a break for the Giants. Not only do they keep the football, but they get the 15-yard penalty, and it comes out to the Misericordia 43. So Jonathan Bates out of the gun. Pass complete to Wassel. And he slips out of the first tackle. He's got about 7 yards close to the 35. It'll be second down and 3. Interesting to see a team with all these freshmen and playing just their second ever football game since 1948, coming out so much no-huddle offense. And Bates is going to be swarmed in the backfield.
Bates is stopped in the backfield by number 96, Jake Nagel.
Jake Nagel, the first one there.
That'll bring up a third down.
Loss of 5 back to the 30 or the 40-yard line. It's the risk you run when you run so much no huddle with such an inexperienced team. You're going to have some plays that don't look very smooth. That was one of them. But obviously that's Coach Higgins' philosophy. He wants to play an up-tempo offense. Here's 3rd and 7. Bates rifles one right into the chest of Wassel, but he couldn't hang on. Hit made by Nick Yeager coming up from the secondary, and pass breakup will bring up 4th down. It's a fake, done a little Tebow-esque jump pass complete, and the Giants are inside the 20-yard line.
The pass from Ethan Dunn.
Well, I mentioned earlier, Ethan Dunn was a quarterback in high school at Honesdale High School.
Good for a Giants.
And he showed his ability there on that fake punt. It's good for 22 yards and a first down. So twice here on this possession, Misericordia's defense has forced a punt. And for the 3rd time now, they're going to have to come back out in the field after Keystone Special Teams picks up a first down.
Delay game.
Play of game is the call.
Number 7. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Maybe a little too much celebration after that fake punt. Didn't get in the formation in time. Keystone has played the Cougars tough here this afternoon, despite this being their first game against a varsity squad in many years. And here's a pass complete and getting into the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Giants.
Pass from Jonathan Bates is complete. To Javier Taza.
It's Javier Taza on the reception. It's good for 22 yards and a Keystone touchdown. Here's Edward Sichalongo on to attempt the extra point, and he's got it. So the Giants
The extra point.
get on the scoreboard for the first time today. They trim the Misericordia lead to 13-7 with 8:20 to play here in the second.
Fans, did you know that Misericordia University is now ranked nationally in the 2020 U.S. News College rankings? This change by U.S. News puts Misericordia among our country's best universities, and it is evidence of the commitment of Misericordia to enhance the academic caliber of our institution. For information about Misericordia, visit our website at misericordia.edu/news.
Please step up
So after that 23-yard touchdown pass from Bates to Taza, an onside kick attempted by the Giants. A flag is down. The Cougars recovered it. The Giants pulling out all the stops here in this first half. We've seen a fake punt. We've seen an onside kick. We've seen no huddle offense. We haven't even played a quarter and a half yet. We also saw a driving rainstorm that came out of nowhere, and that has pretty much stopped. Maybe just a very light drizzle. Not sure what the penalty is here over on the far side. The flag was thrown right around where Patrick Rother grabbed that onside kick attempt.
Dead ball foul. Late hit on the kicking team. Hitting the receiver after fair catch signal. 15 yards added
Okay.
to the
So Rother apparently called for a fair catch,
first down.
and he was hit after he made the signal. So a heads-up play by Rother, the freshman out of Crestwood High School here locally, just about 20 minutes down the road. And the Giants gambled and lost on that onside kick. They give the Cougars the football inside the 35-yard line. Williams takes the low snap, swings it out, and the pass just a little low of the target. Michael Schlosser couldn't bring it in. And 2nd and 10 coming up.
Second and 10.
Misericordia has completed 7 passes so far today for 83 yards. Williams out of the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Rifles one near side. Gillison all alone. Pretty impressive hurdle there.
Sam Gillison.
Jumped right over Brandon Smith, who stands 5'8". And Gillison has 12 yards and a Cougar first down. Misericordia has the wind at their back, although the wind has died down quite a bit. 3 catches for Sam Gillison today for 50 yards. That's Michael Golick on the carry.
Rush by Michael Golick.
Sophomore gains about 4 down to the
Michael Jimenez.
21. Michael Jimenez on the stop for Keystone.
Second down.
Misericordia again inside the red zone. Again, last week, just 1 for 4 in scoring opportunities inside the 20-yard line. And they lost that game by 10 despite outgaining McDaniel by a pretty decent margin. Here's Golick again, 15-10, and slamming through tacklers. It's a touchdown for Misericordia. How about that effort by the sophomore running back, Michael Golick, who takes it in from 19 yards, and the Cougars back up by 12.
Mike Golick on the rush.
Well, Golick was just surrounded by defenders. He was wrapped up at least once, maybe twice. And he just ran into a tunnel of Keystone linebackers and found a way to come out the other side. 19-7, and Dinnicenti's extra point is perfect. 6:52 to play. That rushing touchdown once again brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Rush on over to either one of their two Dallas locations. 6:52 to play. It's Misericordia by 13. Now 3 rushing touchdowns by 3 different players here for Misericordia, and I'm sure Mark Ross is happy about that. Did most of their work in the passing game last week, as this return is going horizontally, but it's not where they want to go. A flag comes in, probably going to be a holding call. Keystone scored their touchdown on a pass from Jonathan Bates to their receiver, Taza.
15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
Personal foul against Misericordia, horse collar tackle. So the Cougars have been penalized a few times here today in special teams. We've seen a roughing the kicker call against each team. Jonathan Bates, who has played almost every snap here today for the Giants, split time last week with their other quarterback, Thomas Roach, but it's been Bates the whole way here today. Handoff goes to the outside. That's Jameer Green. Zach Orzel on the tackle for the Cougars, a gain of 6. Keystone starting running back Jeremiah Allen was knocked out of the game fairly early on. He went up to catch a pass with both arms extended in the air, and he was drilled in the breadbasket by a Misericordia linebacker, and this pass is drilled backwards for an incompletion. Mason Geary, sophomore defensive end, coming up to deflect that pass. And it'll be 3rd down and 4 now for the Giants. Keystone has picked up 6 first downs on the game compared to Misericordia's 11. Bates out of the shotgun, over the middle, and it's intercepted. A diving effort and a great catch there by TJ Prather, the freshman linebacker out of Lusby, Maryland. So the first turnover of the game by either team goes the way of the Cougars. Freshman linebacker anticipated that pass and showed some good hands there, going down and securing that wet football. The diving attempt. So here's Brady Williams, already with a 13-point lead. 5-step drop, and hammers one right again off the helmet of a Keystone defender. Went through the hands of Gillison. Sam jumped for that pass. I think he probably could have caught it without jumping, but he knew the defender was right on his hip, and he tried to shield the defender from the football, and I think he lost concentration of the pigskin for a bit. It's been a good game for Sam, though. He's already halfway to 100 here today. After catching 5 for 89 last week. Here's Cromwell on 2nd down, just powering his way through tacklers, close to the marker.
Rush by David
Gains 9
Cromwell.
into Keystone territory. As we tick down close to 5.5 minutes to play before halftime.
3rd and 2 for the Cougars.
118 rushing yards here today for Misericordia. It's already more than they had last week in that loss to McDaniel. On 3rd and a long one, Brady Williams keeps and plunges past the 45. It'll be a first down.
Brady Williams on the rush inside the 45 to the 44, and that's good for a Cougar.
Cougars averaging over 7 yards a carry here today. 223 yards of total offense, make that 225 after that 2-yard run. On 1st and 10, they hand to Golick. Similar play he scored the touchdown on, and again he breaks at least one tackle. Down close to the 35, a gain of 8 yards on first down for Golick.
Davis in on that stop for Keystone. 2nd down and 2.
Tackle made by Jalen Davis, the freshman safety. 2nd and 2, Misericordia. And that'll be good enough for a first down. That was Eric Jeffries on the carry.
Golick on the rush. Stopped by Jameer Spencer-Smith.
Jeffries scored on an 18-yard touchdown in the second quarter, I should say.
Chains for a Cougar.
Cromwell in the backfield now with Williams in this shotgun set. 4 receivers. Trips to the left. And they'll run a little screen out to Isaiah Williams, who can't bring it in.
Pass is incomplete, intended for Isaiah Williams. 2nd down.
Couple drop balls on this drive for the Cougars. Brady Williams, 8 for 14 so far for the game. For Misericordia has not turned the ball over. 96 yards in those 8 completions for Williams. All 3 touchdowns have come on the ground here today for the Cougars. This is Cromwell with a big hole left side inside the 25. Ball is loose, and I think Misericordia was able to pounce on it. Cromwell saw all that daylight, and he forgot to secure the football, but I think it should be good enough for a first down. It'll be really close. They might measure this one. Now they're going to say 3rd down, just about a foot or so shy. As we're down under 3 minutes to play now in the half. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. 2 tight ends on this formation for the Cougars. They give it to Cromwell. Stutter steps through a tackle. Inside the 15, still going. Cromwell wants to get to that goal line, and he's going to be stopped about a yard short. 23 yards on the run for David Cromwell. And the Cougars knocking on the door again.
Inside the 5-yard line. First and goal.
First and goal for the Cougars. Cromwell, they call his number, stacked up and dropped short of the goal line.
Sean Tosi.
Give credit to that Keystone defensive line that time. Sean Tosi gets credit for the tackle.
2nd down.
think big number 44, Kyrie Copper, this 195-pound freshman, was also there from Burlington City, New Jersey. 2nd and goal. And movement up front. Well, if this is a half the distance call against Keystone, it's going to be about the shortest penalty you can have.
Defense number 50. Please half the distance to the goal. Remains second
So they'll
down.
move it about a foot maybe closer to the goal line. Ball is resting basically on the white chalk line. Second down goal. Two tight ends again for Misericordia. And walking in is Jeffries. That's his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Doesn't get very much easier than that. And the Cougars take a 26-7 lead. That rushing touchdown by Eric Jeffries brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Visit their 2 Dallas locations. As Nick Denicenti comes on to attempt, or Matt Denicenti comes on to attempt the extra point. And he's got it. Got 60 seconds left before the half. And Misericordia has taken a 20-point lead here on their home field.
That rushing touchdown brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'.
So the 20-point deficit to overcome. We'll see what Keystone can do here in 60 seconds. They have all 3 timeouts. Denicenti's kickoff is a short one. Handled in a pretty good return, as scampering down the near sideline was Tamir Sampson, a 5'9", 215-pound freshman
Returned by
out of
Tamir Sampson.
Philadelphia. And he'll give the Giants excellent field position. Try to cut into this 20-point deficit.
Into Cougar territory. Scratch that, still on their side of the field.
Keystone has managed 6 first downs here today. They've had trouble on the ground. They've run the ball 11 times for just 17 yards. Of course, that does include sacks and lost yardage. Bates out of the gun. Rolling, throwing, and throws right into the arms of Zach Orzel.
That pass is intercepted.
Another interception for the Cougars secondary.
Number 5, Zachary Orzel on the interception. First down, Cougars.
And that pass was well off target. TJ Prather had the first interception for the Cougars today, and Mark Ross has to be happy that they're forcing some turnovers. Not a lot of impact plays from the defense last week. They played relatively well for most of that game, but just couldn't make a lot of big plays, and McDaniel was able to do that a couple of times defensively themselves. Gillison on this reception.
Brady Williams pass is complete.
And he steps out of bounds after a gain of 6, stopping the clock with 43 seconds remaining.
Second and 3.
Ninth pass completion for Brady Williams today. He's up over 100 yards now. Looking left this time, pressure comes, steps away. Now scrambling near side and smartly throws it away, and another flag is down. We're going to have another roughing the passer penalty against Keystone. As Kyrie Cooper, maybe a little frustration that he couldn't get him down the first time. And after Williams threw it, he just basically gave him a two-hand shiver in the back. And tack on 15 yards.
Roughing the passer. Low forceful hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, we've had several personal foul penalties in this game, a roughing the kicker call against each team. A couple roughing the passer penalties, and a horse collar tackle on a kickoff return. Williams in the gun with 33 seconds left. They give to Golick near sideline and gets out of bounds. And Keystone defense might be running out of gas a little bit. These last few runs by the Cougars have looked pretty easy, knifing through holes in this defensive line. Flag is down.
Offense number 15.
Well, maybe that's why it was so easy. It's a holding penalty against Misericordia. Misericordia was penalized just one time last week in the entire game in that loss to McDaniel, but today it's been a different story. Five penalties against the Cougars today, as this run by Golick, or check that, a pass completion to Golick inside the 20. And another Cougar first down. Timeout called by Mark Ross and the Cougars with 18 seconds left. So a game that looks like the Cougars might win here going away. Good opportunity here to work on the 2-minute offense. Still 2 timeouts remaining for Misericordia, and just on the outer ranges of field goal possibilities here for Matt DiNocenti. Had a rainstorm that came through in the first quarter today. It lasted maybe 5 or 10 minutes before lightening up quite a bit. There's no rain coming down right now. It looks like it could start up again any minute, but 68 degrees was the game time temperature here today. Feels colder than that because of the breeze. The Cougars can definitely run a couple more plays here at the very least before a potential field goal attempt, but of course Mark Ross wants 6 here. It's first down. Williams gets good pass protection and guns one out of the reach of Gillison. Good coverage out there by the Keystone defensive back Dorian Davenport. Play took just 4 seconds, so Cougars still can run probably 2 plays. 13 seconds remaining in this first half. 4 receivers this time. Williams keeps it himself, stutter stepping, dancing inside the 10, and finally chopped down at the 7. Quick timeout with 5 seconds left by Misericordia.
Timeout. Misericordia. This is their second charge timeout.
So now what do you do? 5.3 seconds on the clock. Just kind of at that boundary where you may have enough time to throw one to the end zone and get another playoff. Or if you want to play it safe, you might want to kick the field goal now. Another reminder that the Misericordia cheerleading team is selling t-shirts as part of their Cougars for a Cure campaign in support of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Cheerleading squad will hold a 50-50 raffle at the Lebanon Valley game in 2 weeks in support of that cause. Cougars are off next week before playing Lebanon Valley here at home. 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday afternoon, September 28th. So it looks like Misericordia will roll the dice and try to throw one into the end zone here with 5.3 seconds left. 4 receivers for Williams. Tries to find Gillison. Was he inbounds? He was not. Made the catch in the corner of the end zone. The clock says 0. There's no way that play took 5.3 seconds, so the officials might want to huddle here, and it looks like they'll say to put 2 seconds back on the clock. So well executed that time, except they threw it a little bit too far to the outside, and now Matt Dinicenti will come in to attempt what should be about a 25-yard field goal attempt.
On the previous play, it was illegal motion. Number 34 in the backfield, 5-yard penalty. Replay,
Well,
third down.
apparently there was an illegal motion penalty on the last play, so that's going to push this field goal attempt back to a 30-yard effort. Now they're going to step up and spot it at the 19. So Dinicenti with a very slight wind to his back. Timeout called
Timeout, Keystone.
by the Giants. So in a 20-point game with 2 seconds left in the first half, the Giants are going to ice the kicker. Have some first half stats for you coming up at halftime. Again, Keystone College, the Giants, if you're not familiar with that school, they have not had a football program since 1948 until this season. Before playing last week in their first game against the Wilkes JV team. This is their first game since 1948 against a varsity college opponent. Dinicenti will try to make it a 30-bagger here for the Cougars in the first half. It's a 30-yard attempt, plenty of leg, and he's got it. Just tucked it inside the right upright. Flag is down, so is Dinicenti. And another roughing the kicker call here in this first half. Bizarre stuff. I would imagine Misericordia will decline the penalty, but the concern is for the Misericordia kicker, as the Keystone player came in and hit him low. And that is up and walking off the field, so good news for Misericordia on that front. You can't be happy if you're the Misericordia coaching staff. I mean, you can't have your kicker and punter getting free shots taken on them.
That's a 15-yard penalty. There will be a
Obviously a very inexperienced Keystone team. Just got lots of freshmen out there for the Giants trying to make a play, but they've been victimized by penalties a lot here in this first half. Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff to start the second half, so that sends us to the halftime break. It's Misericordia 30 and Keystone 7. We'll be back in about 15 minutes or so with a look at the first half stats. Second half action just about to get underway here from Mangelsdorf Field. It's 30-7 Misericordia. 4 rushing touchdowns in that first half by 3 different players. I'll give you a look, run down some of the first half numbers here as we go along. Kickoff was from midfield because of a roughing the kicker penalty on that field goal by Dinacenti with 2 seconds left in the first half. And it sails through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Keystone will start from the 20. Look at those first half stats. Misericordia 19 first downs compared to just 6 for the Giants. Misericordia ran 26 times for 198 yards in those 4 touchdowns. Brady Williams was 10 for 18 passing for 115 yards. Jonathan Bates was 4 for 11 for Keystone as the Giants run right up the gut on first down. I said Keystone will start at the 20. I'm a couple of years behind, forgetting about the rule that was put in place to put the ball at the 25 for touchbacks. So they gained 3 on first down. Giants turned the ball over twice on interceptions in that first half. First interception for Misericordia was an impressive diving effort by TJ Prather. Second down run goes nowhere for the Giants. Demir Green stacked up by a host of Cougars. Tavion Rogers, the first one there, along with Mike Beck. Zach Orzel had the other interception in the first half for the Cougars. That came late in the second quarter. Keystone just 20 yards rushing in this game on 12 carries. Bates under siege. Rifles one over the middle, complete, and that's going to be good for a first down. Demir Green on a crossing pattern. And now Bates is down. Well, Bates was under heavy pressure there. It was pretty impressive escape to be able to get that throw off accurately. And Jonathan Bates, the 5'10", 170-pound freshman out of Jersey City, New Jersey. Played about half the game last week in that loss to the Misericordia JV team, did Bates. Went 8 for 15 passing for 126 yards. He also ran for 67 yards in that game, and we haven't really seen him be able to get outside the pocket today. Misericordia has done a good job keeping him in the pocket and pressuring him on those throws.
And stocking up on your MU Cougars gear, or shop online at MUCougarsgear.com.
So Bates hobbles off the field. Looks like he'll be okay. Here's another run as the new quarterback into the game. That's Roach. First down carry goes for 3 yards. Thomas Roach was the quarterback that got the rest of the snaps last week. He's a freshman, went 12 for 24 in that game for 127 yards. He's in the shotgun on second down and a long 7. And that pass flared out at the feet of his intended target, Javier Taza, the freshman wide receiver. 12:45 to play here, third quarter.
That makes it third down.
Back to throw as Roach steps up uncorks one far sideline, and a tumbling effort made, but it's incomplete. Wazell over on that far sideline.
Thomas Roach on the pass.
Actually, check that. That was Javier Tazo over there.
Incomplete. Fourth down.
Good effort, but came up short on the shoestring attempt, and the Giants will have to punt. Ethan Dunn had himself quite a first half. He had a 50-yard punt that was down inside the 1-yard line, and then came up on a fake punt and completed a pass for 22 yards and a Giants first down. This punt is a fair catch made by Isaiah Williams.
Fair catch by Isaiah Williams.
And the Cougars, with this 23-point advantage, will get the ball for the first time here in the second half. Kind of a workmanlike effort in that first half against an inexperienced Keystone defense made up of just about all freshmen. Again, Keystone, if you missed the first half, this is their first college football game as a school since 1948. They plan to enter a conference next year, I should say, in 2020. They'll play in the Eastern Collegiate Football Conference. This year they're just playing an independent schedule and just trying to get their feet wet. Here's Cromwell slamming through tacklers. Out to the 44, pickup of 13 on the first play in the second half.
And his run is good for a Cougar.
Misericordia really spread out the carries in the first half. Eric Jeffries, the sophomore from Nanticoke Area High School here locally, scored 2 touchdowns, ran the ball for 6 carries, 37 yards. Cromwell was the leading ground gainer, as he was last week. 11 carries now for 93 yards. Well, he's not going to get to 100 here. David is knocked backwards. Forward progress will give him about a half a yard.
He's stopped by Montez Gaskin. For the
Cromwell, the
Giants.
leading rusher for Misericordia a season ago, a little over 700
Second and
yards.
9.
Cougar offensive line has opened up some serious holes here today. Cougars ran for almost 200 yards in that first half. Here's Williams on 2nd and 10. Play clock down to 5. 3-step drop, flares one out. Cromwell has it in stride and lumbers down the near sideline to the 39.
David Cromwell into Giants territory.
And another
for
Misericordia
Cougar.
first down. Keystone College has been known for their excellent baseball program over the past decade or so. Been to the NCAA tournament on numerous occasions. They're hoping they can get the football program as Isaiah Williams tries to scamper down the far sideline. Flag is down. We may have a hold out there on the Misericordia wide receiver. That was Michael Schlosser blocking out there. And it is a hold against the Cougars.
10-yard penalty for the spot. Replay to down.
One thing Mark Ross will be unhappy about today, I think. The Cougars have been penalized way too much, as has Keystone, but for the Giants, you can kind of expect it with so many freshmen and kids playing pretty much every player on the roster is playing their first season of college football. Clock down close to the 10-minute mark here in the third. Misericordia up 23. Looking for more. Here's Cromwell off left tackle. Dragged down by the defensive lineman Brandon Lawyer, the 5'10 freshman out of Dover, Pennsylvania.
Second down.
Second and about 15 coming up. Again, Misericordia is off next week. They'll have a bye and play in 2 weeks from today at 1 o'clock, September 28th, right here at Mangelsdorf Field against Lebanon Valley. All kinds of room to run for Isaiah Williams inside the 35.
Pass complete to Isaiah Williams.
Little pitch and catch
Brandon
in the
Davis.
middle of the field that time.
Jameer Spencer Smith bring him down.
Jameer Spencer Smith
Third down.
on the tackle, a gain of 10. Fourth catch of the day for Isaiah Williams. He's got 42 yards. 9 catches last week for Isaiah for 97. 3rd and 6. Cromwell, draw play. All kinds of room again as Mark Welsh helps to open up that hole. 10 more for the Cougars ground game.
For a Cougar.
Another Misericordia first down.
First down.
Cromwell now over 100 for the game. $1.07. Flag is down. This pass is dropped. Sam Gillison's not going to have an easier 6 points in his college career, I don't think.
Flag on the plate.
That one went right through his fingers. We'll see what the flag is.
Offside. Defense, number 57. 5-yard penalty.
Offsides against the Giants.
Third down.
Gillison over on the Misericordia sideline. He can't believe it. Kid that's made some circus catches the last couple of years. Second team All-MAC wide receiver. And that one I think he probably could have caught in Pee Wee football. He'll be back, I'm sure, to get his revenge for that one. Gillison sitting all by himself over on the Misericordia bench. If you're going to drop one like that, it might as well be in a game that you're winning by 23 points. Golick slams into the back of one of his offensive linemen for a couple of yards.
Gain of 1.
Second and 4 coming up for the Cougars. 8 minutes to play here in the third. Golick, nice little juke there to get past the defender and inside the 20 down to the 16.
Golick brought down
Be a
by
yard
Brandon
shy of the
Davis.
first down.
3rd and 1.
It's Golick's 7th carry today. 53 yards and a touchdown on the afternoon. Two tight ends this time for the Cougars. Jeffries with both hands securing the ball. Slams inside for a Cougar first down.
Rush by Eric Jeffries moves those chains for a Cougar.
7 minutes to play in the third. Williams out of the gun again, as he has been all season so far. 3 receivers and a tight end lined up to the right side. Jeffries lost his footing there, and he gained about a yard or two. Had some rain early in the game. A sudden rainstorm came through maybe about 5 minutes into the game and only lasted for about 10 minutes or so before slowing down to a light drizzle. Now it's completely stopped. Had a little bit of rain at halftime. Cromwell trying to pick his way, and Keystone up to the task that time, throwing him backwards. Adam Fathy, the 5'10", 250-pound freshman out of Marcus Hook, PA, was involved in that tackle. Misericordia player down on the field. With 6:04 4 to play here in the third quarter. Misericordia leads Keystone 30-7. Bobby Burke is the injured Misericordia player. Junior tight end, 6 foot, 210 pounds, out of Middletown, New Jersey. Walking off the field, no noticeable limp. Training staff seems to be kind of letting him go off to be by himself, so that's a really good sign. The young man. Third down and 10 coming up for the Cougars, leading by 23. Williams, great pass protection and off target with the throw. Flag came in late. Possible area of holding. Dalton McCran held his man off for quite a while. Eventually, some pressure got through to Williams, and McCran is going to be called for the holding penalty. Keystone will decline it. Now we'll see what Mark Ross wants to do. Looks like the field goal team is going to come on. Be about a 31-yard attempt, depending on where they spot it. Dinicenti nailed a 29-yarder at the first half gun, and it was good by plenty. So this is well within his range. Into a very slight breeze. Hold is down, and the kick splits the pipes. 2 for 2 for Dinicenti today. 33-7 Cougars as we tick our way down here in the third.
Cougar fans, tell your friends that Misericordia University will hold an open house for prospective students on Saturday, September 28th, from 9 to 3:30, right here on campus. As you know, this is a great place, and future students can find out what makes Misericordia special at open house.
Dinnicenti's kickoff is away. Fielded by Marcus Sessoms. And he manages to get out close to the 30.
Number 6, Marcus Sessoms on the return for Keystone.
And the Giants trailing by 26. So Keystone looking for their first college football victory since they last had a program back in 1948. They're not going to get it here today. They've done some good things, especially defensively. This high-powered Misericordia offense. They've made them work. The Cougar offensive line has just kind of overpowered this young Keystone defense here today. Here's Demir Green on the carry. And he slices for about 3 yards. Starting running back for Keystone, Jeremiah Allen, was banged up early in the game on a vicious hit by one of the Misericordia linebackers. We have not seen him since, so it's been Demir Green in the backfield for the most part today for the Giants. Here he is again on second down, and a nice hole opened up by the left side of that Giant line. Green's going to be about a yard shy of the sticks. Keystone just 27 yards of rushing today on 15 attempts. A lot of credit to the Misericordia defensive line there. Matt Gillingham, Nikolai Keppel, Jake Nagel, Michael Conway have pretty much dominated it here today. 3rd down 1 coming up for Jonathan Bates, who's back in the game after going out with an injury moments ago, and that handoff to Green is going to be stopped shy of the marker. Mike Beck, I believe, was first one there on the tackle. Nagel was also pushing the center back into the ball carrier. Misericordia is going to keep their defense on the field here on this 4th and 1. Keystone's lining up in punt formation. They faked it once successfully in the first half. This time done. This is his worst kick of the day. Bounces at the 40 and checks up right there, and Misericordia will have it. Pretty good field position again, already leading by 26 points.
Is marked at the 40-yard line of the Cougars. We'll take over 1st and 10.
Brady Williams hasn't been spectacular today. Probably not one of his better games, to be honest, but he just hasn't had, all he's had to do is manage the game. Misericordia offensive line has pretty much taken the rest of the team on their back here today with their performance. And this throw comes up short. Looking for Jalil Garrison over on the far side. Garrison had a first reception of the season early in the game. Sophomore out of Milton, Pennsylvania. Cougars 23 first downs here today as they've just kind of grinded out the yardage on the ground. They were just 3 for 12 on 3rd downs last week. Today, it's been a different story. Here's Jeffries, and he is submarined by Jalen Davis, freshman defensive back. Rushing totals continue to increase for the Cougars, now close to 240 yards on the day.
And 3 from the 47-yard line.
Three receivers in this formation for Misericordia. They fake to Jeffries. Williams is blasted right at the line of scrimmage. Tried to spin away, but pretty good hit that time put on
Is stopped in the backfield.
by Adam Fathy again.
Fourth down.
And Misericordia not able to convert that third down. Seven for 10 now in the game, Misericordia, on third downs. So the two issues they had offensively last week, red zone efficiency and third down conversions, have both, at least for today, been fixed. Pretty good line drive punt, and the coverage excellent by the Cougars. Keystone will start inside their own 20. First down 10 for the Giants. They trailed by 26. Demir Green, been the workhorse in the second half, running hard. Demir Green. Getting close to the 25.
Rushed by Kevin Lewis.
Actually check that. That was not Green. That was
Zachary Orzel and joined by
Kevin Lewis on the carry.
2nd and 3.
Kevin Lewis, 5'5", 160-pound freshman out of Philadelphia. He's carried the ball a fair amount today as well after the injury to Allen. 2nd and 3. Lewis again. Brought down by Matthew Gillingham that time, and his Cougar defensive line continues to
Kenny Grady and Matthew Gilliam on the stop for the Cougars.
overwhelm this Keystone offensive line at times here today. No gain, it'll be 3rd and 3. With getting close to the 30-second mark here in the third quarter. 4 rushing touchdowns today for Misericordia. Eric Jeffries with 2, and here goes Bates. He's down. The blitz came, a delayed blitz that time by the Cougars, and TJ Prather got back there along with a couple other Misericordia players.
TJ Prather on the sack.
Prather will
Jonathan Bates.
get credit for the sack, and that brings us to the end of quarter number 3. All Misericordia here today on their home field. They lead Keystone 33-7. Thanks for watching here today, folks. 15 minutes left. My name is Paul Garrity. Looking forward to be back for more games this season here at Mangelsdorf Field this season. 33-7 Cougars. Keystone punting from just outside their own end zone. Another good punt from Dunn. Here's Isaiah Williams. Slips away from the first tackle. And inside the 35. Kind of split the first 2 defenders that came down there. And Isaiah Williams still in there on special teams with the 26-point lead.
Tackled by Kenny
Misericordia will have the ball in great field position again to try to tack on here.
First down, Cougars at the 30.
Chris Sika has checked in the game for Misericordia, the freshman, 6'4", 275 out of Colonia, New Jersey, at right tackle. Williams rolling, throws, hits Aaron Barry on a little out pattern. Aaron Barry tumbles close to the 20. Pickup of 9 on the play. Cougars will go no huddle as they split Willie Wallace wide to the bottom of your screen. Barry, the tight end, lined up as a wing to the right side of the formation. Golick is the tailback. Here he is on second and short. Gets away from the tackle, a stiff arm, 10-5, and Michael Golick has his second touchdown of the day. But hold on a minute. There's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. And it's another costly penalty against Misericordia. That's been the one thing today that they have not been sharp on. There's too many penalties here today against Misericordia. That is their 9th. So Golick might have to settle for one touchdown today. Still 14 minutes to go, though. Second down and 6. Golick knifing his way through the middle. And that should be easily enough for a first down. It's a pickup of about 7 on the play. Brandon Bendez, junior wide receiver, 6'1", 170. He's split to the bottom of your screen in this 4-receiver package. Golick again, off the little zone read look, down close to the 10. Looks like they'll mark him down at the 13, actually.
Carter Morse in on that tackle.
Gain of 6. Carter Morse made the tackle. Second down, 4. Clock under 13 minutes to play. Golick this time is wrestled down in the backfield. And that was Kyrie Cooper, the freshman out of Burlington City, New Jersey, who got back there to get penetration. This Keystone defensive line has got to be tired. They've just been kind of pushed around all day long by this physical Misericordia offensive line. As the Cougars have really kept the ball on the ground for most of the day. Third and about 6. Jeffries bursting through tackles inside the 10 and down to the 7.
Eric Jeffries.
Gain of 6.
For a Cougar. And goal.
Misericordia just continues to add to the rushing totals, up close to 280 yards now on the ground. They go without a huddle. And more flags flying through. How about that catch? It's not going to count. Willie Wallace, you could still put that on the highlight film, though. No one's going to know that it didn't count.
Before the snap, offside, number 57 of the defense. Contact on the snapper. 5 yards
Offsides against Charles McMillan for Keystone. Jeffries in the backfield. He has 2 touchdowns already today. Wallace, the slot receiver to the top of your screen. Williams keeps it himself on the zone read, and he walks in. That rushing touchdown presented by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. 39-7 Cougars. Out of the hold of Mitch McHale, Dinacenti slams home the extra point. 11:40 to play from Mangelsdorf Field, and it's all Cougars here this afternoon. Keystone will continue the search for their first victory next week. They will play Morrisville State College. The Morrisville State JV team is that bobbled kickoff is returned out to the 15-yard line. I mentioned Morrisville State is the former home of Keystone head coach Justin Higgins. He spent 10 seasons at Morrisville State on the defensive staff, 9 years as a defensive coordinator. So obviously that connection is helping Keystone to get a game against that school, the Morrisville State JV team. So that game will be next week on Sunday. Best of luck to the Giants as they continue the search for their first win in 70 years. Bates still in there for the Giants, and this handoff is going to get through right side of the line for about 7. Looks like Kevin Lewis on the carry that time. Zach Orzel on the stop for the Cougars. 285 rushing yards for Misericordia today. Not much doing on that play. Matt Gillingham clogged that up in the middle there.
Third down.
Lewis 6 carries today, 22 yards for the Giants. He's their leading ground gainer. On third down, quick release again, and all kinds of room out there on the far side for Zach Wassell. And an easy pitch and catch that time. So the Giants pick up a first down. Giants that's their second third down conversion of the day in 10 tries. And here's Lewis stepping through a hole in the middle of the line. Stopped by Mike Beck, along with Matt Gillingham again. Gain of 6. Getting down close to the 9.5-minute mark. So Misericordia will improve to 1-1 on the season. Heading into that off week next Saturday before taking on Lebanon Valley 2 weeks from today right here at Mangelsdorf Field. Lewis again, this time bottled up immediately. Jason Anderson on the stop, the 5'11", 240-pound defensive lineman out of Shavertown, PA, just right up the street here. Local product out of Dallas High School. 3rd and 3 for the Giants. Bates gets some pretty good pass protection, but the throw is nowhere near anybody. Wassel, the intended target. Coverage out there by Zach Newby for the Cougars, along with Damian Diaz in the secondary. Ethan Dunn will punt. Wobbler, fielded by Isaiah Williams at the 30. So this Keystone team's going through a Misericordia program, just growing pains. What they went through just a few seasons ago, and Mark Ross helped get the program started. Misericordia, of course, by far a program record, 8 victories a season ago. Looking to match that mark this year. Off to a 1-1 start following this one. Golick exploding through the hole. 14 more.
Michael Golick
The sophomore.
carries the ball across the 40 to the 44 for a Cougar.
Cougars are going to find themselves well over 300 yards today on the ground. Would expect to see a lot more of that type of play, folks, as Mitch McHale has taken over as the signal caller for Misericordia. Tony Rivera on the tackle that time for Keystone. Mitch McHale, the 6', 175-pound sophomore out of Downingtown West High School in Coatesville, PA. He takes over as the backup quarterback now this year, as Aaron Barry has moved out to be the starting tight end. McHale off a pump fake, has a blocker in front, and dives forward to the Keystone 36. Pickup of 18 and another Misericordia first down. Clock down to 7 minutes remaining. Golick bounces off the first tackle, still fighting, down to the 30. And another 6. Just been kind of 6 yards in a cloud of dust today for Misericordia. They seem to be able to get 6 or 7 yards almost anytime they want on the ground. Might not be this easy in 2 weeks against the Dutchmen of Lebanon Valley. That team usually has a very big line on both sides of the ball, so things I'm sure will look a little different on the field. Misericordia, though, has to be getting some confidence with their ground game here today with this performance. They've been solid with the football, have not turned the football over, even on a day where the field was wet, the ball was slick. Outstanding ball security. Just the penalties, the one thing they can work on for next week. Here's Golick trying to cut back to the middle. Ball almost came loose, and he's finally wrestled down close to the 10.
Michael Golick on the carry for the Cougars, moving the chains for another Cougar.
Michael Golick has gotten the call a lot here today. Cougars already with 2 players over 100 yards rushing. Cromwell 108. Golick leads the way, 17 carries for $134. And Eric Jeffries has 2 touchdowns. This pass complete. Kevin Pearson on the reception, trying to find the goal line, knocked out of bounds. Flag in.
Pass completed number 4, Kevin Pearson. Flag on the play.
Kevin Pearson gets in the box score with a catch. Maybe. See what the flag is.
Holding.
Another holding call against the Cougars.
10-yard penalty. Replay down.
10 penalties today. Brady Williams' day is done. 13 for 23 passing, 148 yards. McHale keeps it himself on the zone read inside the 10. As we are down to the 5-minute mark here in the fourth quarter.
On the rush for Misericordia. Second down.
So Michael Golick, after 107 yards receiving last week, doing it the more traditional way from the running back spot this week, up over 130 yards rushing. Jeffries gets the call. He's in. It's a hat trick for Eric Jeffries. 3 rushing touchdowns. And all 3 brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts.
Eric Jeffries on the carry.
46-7. I think Dinacenti's right leg is getting a little sore. He's been booting the ball through the uprights a lot today. 47 points on the scoreboard, and the Cougars lead by 40.
That rushing touchdown brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'.
.433 to play. Misericordia's first victory of the season.
Demir Green on the kick return for Keystone.
these kids from Keystone, they might not get a lot of victories this season, but they're going to be part of something special. Just like the kids, or the young men from Misericordia were just a few seasons ago, and they got the program started here on campus. And those teams suffered through some blowout losses, but, you know, they were the foundation that this Misericordia program was really built on. And all the success that that team had last year, they owe a lot of that success to the guys who laid the foundation here with the program, took their lumps for 3 or 4 years. That first group that came in as freshmen, they played their first 4 years and they never really achieved the success that they wanted. But again, the kids that stayed with the program through all 4 years here at Misericordia, they should never ever be forgotten, because the success that this team had last year, it just wouldn't have happened without guys setting the culture and all the hard work that they put forth to make this program a place where some of these guys here wanted to come and wanted to play for. And you know, kids like that and athletes like that, they're not going to get the headlines, but I know Mark Ross will never forget those teams and never forget those players that sacrificed so much and sacrificed some personal accolades. And they knew they probably were going to take their lumps when they decided to come to Misericordia and play football. But they did it anyway, and they probably a bond that not a lot of other teams had. And I know a lot of those guys are experiencing a lot of success in life. It's not surprising. So I'm sure some of these Keystone kids are going to be the same way. And credit to all these guys who helped get this program started at the school.
Thomas Roach's pass is incomplete. Intended for Michael Bond Jr.
So the Giants will have to punt here again. These Keystone players have gotten their money's worth here. It's over 2.5 hours, and we still got football to play. Isaiah Williams does not elect for the fair catch. Taken down from behind at the 48, so 3:12 left. Cougars will enjoy their off week next Saturday and get ready for one of their toughest tests on their schedule on September 28th here at home against Lebanon Valley. McHale on the keeper. Pretty good read that time by Jalen Davis coming up from the secondary to make the tackle.
Mitchell McHale.
Gain of 2 for the sophomore quarterback.
By Jalen Davis. 2nd and 8.
It's got to be an interesting feeling for Mark Ross over on the Misericordia sideline. He was in Justin Higgins' position just 5 years ago. He was that first-year head coach that was trying to get a program started. Now he's the coach, the veteran coach that's coming off an 8-3 season and an appearance in a bowl game. Carry there by Patrick Rother, the freshman running back. Good for 7. Approaching 2 minutes to play here in Misericordia's first victory of the year. Rother trying to duck under a tackler. Gains a couple.
Rother again on the carry. And they're moving the chains for a Cougar.
Misericordia is going to finish this game north of 370 rushing yards. Cromwell and Golick both over 100. Jeffries 3 touchdowns today. McHale keeps this one. Plunges forward to the 41.
McHale and the keeper. Gain of 2. 2nd and 8 at 41.
32 first downs for Misericordia compared to just 8 for Keystone. That was the difference in the rushing yards, 370 to 42. That's all that really needs to be said. And again, the star of this game was the offensive line for Misericordia along with the defensive line. And off to the races goes Patrick Rother, speeding into the secondary, and add to that rushing total for the Cougars.
Rush around the left side.
Probably not going to get to 400 here today, but I think they've kind of made their statement. And we'll have one more play. Every coach's favorite formation. McHale takes a knee, and Misericordia gets victory number 1 here in 2019. Good luck to Keystone the rest of the way. These young men will build a lot of character, and they played well and they played hard here this afternoon, but they're up against a quality opponent. Misericordia gets it done today, 47-7, the final score. Cougars off next week, and then they'll take on Lebanon Valley here at home on September 28th. If you're in the area, come on out to the field hockey game this evening, 5 p.m. The Lady Cougars will take on Cortland, and then the women's soccer team will take on Arcadia at 7:30 tonight. And best of luck to both of those teams tonight with their games.